Hey y'all, welcome to TXC Tells All, or welcome back if you're one of our subscribers. So, one of the things that we talk about here on TXC Tells All are pre-law and law school and beyond journeys. So, this video is going to be for law students that are soon graduating from law school, or recent grads, or lawyers that are in the field that are thinking about opening their own law firm and starting a solo practice. Now, this video is going to focus on, can you do that straight out of law school? So if you're a law student, in your 3L year or 2L year, even 1L year, thinking, after I graduate from law school, I don't want to work for anybody. I want to hang my own shingle, work for myself, and start my own practice and build it from the ground up. You need to watch this video. I did not do that, but my husband did, and I was there every step of the way. And now we work together in the law firm that he started straight out of law school. So I can give you the perspective of watching somebody else do it that's very close to me, and also now joining a firm that started from the ground up straight out of law school. No seed money, no, my dad's a lawyer, none of that. Just actually going to law school, passing the bar, and starting his own law firm. So if that's your story, if that's what you want to do, watch this video to get 5 real life tips that I know work to start your own law firm straight out of law school without any experience, and just getting your bar license and hitting the ground running. Okay, so tip number 1. I know y'all heard me say in the introduction, no seed money. No, my dad went to law school. So you might be thinking, well, what money did you use to start? Like, how do I do that? Because starting a business, starting any business costs money, right? So yes, it does cost money to start a law firm. Now, can you do it straight out of law school without a bunch of money, without a business loan? Yes, definitely, especially in today's climate where a lot of our work as attorneys is done virtually. So my first tip is keep costs low and grow your business as your income grows. So you don't have to start with a fancy office space, fancy business cards, fancy website, thousands of dollars a month in marketing. You don't have to start that way, and you can definitely be successful without starting that way. So tip number 1 is, when you start, keep costs low. Like I said, in today's climate, you don't even have to have an office. Many of the attorneys that are working now, even larger, medium to larger firms, are working remotely and only coming into the office when they absolutely have to meet clients or to do depositions or things like that. So that works really to the benefit of a law student that is graduating law school and wants to hang their own shingle right away, because all you really need is access to internet. And if you, well, depending on what type of law you're doing, if you need to meet clients in person, somewhere that you can do that. Now, a great way to do that and keep costs low is by getting virtual space. You can get a virtual address and virtual space to keep your law firm running and do most of your work out of your house or working remotely, meeting with clients via Zoom. All of that is very low cost. Getting a virtual address is low cost. So if you plan on starting your own law firm, look into those things before you open your doors. But you can definitely keep costs low. Another way to keep costs low, of course, nowadays, to compete, everything is online, social media. Have an Instagram, have a TikTok. Those things are low cost. You can start that. You can start a YouTube channel on your journey. Those are things that you can use for marketing. And you can also use Upwork, which is what we did when we started our, well, when my husband started his law firm. I was actually working for a law firm, but when he started the law firm straight out of law school, he used Upwork to do his website. So he paid around $750, and this was about, let's say, 6-7 years ago. Paid $750 to get his website done and to have an email hosting, so he could have an email address at the name of his law firm and not use just the Gmail address, for $750 total. So that is a fraction of what some of the web designers may be charging now. Of course, I know you can do a website for free, which, if you have that talent and time, you are welcome to do that. But even starting a law firm, obviously, if you are starting the business as a lawyer, you're also providing the service. So sometimes, and I know you business owners can understand this, sometimes it's hard when you're everything to the business, right? You're managing the business, you're taking the payments, and you're also providing the service. So being able to delegate some tasks like building a website is really helpful. Even if you're just starting, as you start to get clients, you're going to have a lot of demands on your time. So you're paying $750 or somewhere around that, you might even be able to find somebody cheaper, is going to keep your costs low. So check out Upwork if you need to get a website designed. And if you haven't used Upwork before, you can pitch to potential consultants how much you want to spend on the project. So you describe the project. Hey, I want to build a website. This is my budget. And then people can bid on that project, and you can choose who, based on their past work, who you feel most comfortable with within your budget. So it's really helpful. You tell them how much you're going to pay up front. So check out Upwork. But the first tip is, when you are starting your own law firm straight out of law school, you want to keep costs low. You don't want to start here and then try to get clients and build back up, your nest. You want to start low. As your clientele grows, as money starts to come in, then of course you can add things that you may need to your business, but you want to start here with the bare minimum. Like I said, potential virtual office, get your website and virtual things done on Upwork, and keep your costs low. And you really want to evaluate keeping your costs low throughout the course of your business, but especially when you're just starting out. Okay, so second tip, you're wondering, okay, I'm starting my business straight out of law school. I have no clients. Where am I supposed to get clients? One really important networking tool, not only for learning the business, but also for getting clients, is joining Young Lawyers Associations. Now, I know the American Bar Association has a Young Lawyers division that has a lot of resources. Make sure you join that. The American Bar Association itself, their dues are annual. They're free for law students, but once you become a lawyer, once you get licensed, for 0 to 4 years. So if you have 0 to 4 years of experience as an attorney, the dues per year are $75. So that's really not bad. I think the American Bar Association has a lot of resources for new attorneys, and that $75 that you're paying for the first year, so $75 per year for the first 4 years, is really invaluable. You can get resources on practicing and connect with other solo practitioners. The American Bar Association actually has actual resources for solo practitioners. So they have additional resources that are specifically geared towards solo practitioners. So if you are planning on hanging your own shingle straight out of law school, I think joining the American Bar Association would be really important, in addition to Young Lawyers Associations, because you're going to meet people there that are doing the same thing as you, that are looking for advice on opening their own practice, and might, you might meet somebody who's been doing it a year, and obviously they have more experience than somebody who's just opening their doors. So I'm here in Texas. I know Texas has the Houston Young Lawyers Association. That's very good. And the Texas Young Lawyers Association. Those all have really good resources for young lawyers. So second tip, join bar association, young lawyers divisions, state in your state, and then the American Bar Association. One thing that my husband did when he joined those associations is that's how he found out about court appointed work. So court appointed work is where a judge appoints you to a case, and you are paid by the court. So you're paid by the government. In these cases, really give you an opportunity to learn without too much pressure. So the client is appointed to you by the court. He did a lot of appointed work at first, and that's how he kind of learned a lot of the things that he offers now to his private clients. So he learned about that through one of the Young Lawyers Associations that he was a part of. So as you can see, that was business right there. Joined the Young Lawyers Association, and it ended up paying for itself. It was a bulk of his business was court appointed work in the very beginning. So second tip, make sure you join the bar associations. Make sure you join the Young Lawyers Associations in your area. So third tip, reach out to attorneys that practice in your area, and don't be afraid to ask them questions. So one thing that I can say from personal experience and from my husband's experience is, you will be surprised at how much attorneys will be willing to help young lawyers. So even if they can't offer you a job, and you might not be looking for a job clearly because you're gonna start your own law firm, but they'll still be willing to talk to you. And I moved to Houston in 2013. I practiced in New Jersey for a year before I came here. So when I came here, I wasn't licensed. I was looking for a job. And I was going to meetups and trying to meet different people. And I actually had like informational interviews with two attorneys here in Houston that did different practice areas that were really just willing to sit down and talk with me. They didn't offer me a job or anything like that, and that's not what I was necessarily looking for. But I got really good information from them as far as how they started their business. And these were small law firms. So they told me kind of how they did it, what their history was, what kind of jobs they got, and how they got to where they were, how their business was doing. And then, of course, they gave me tips on what I should be doing. And it really, really was helpful just to talk to somebody who maybe was 10 years down the line, and I could like kind of look at them and look into the future and say, okay, they did this, they did that, they seem like they're successful. And then of course keeping those networks open, keeping those connections. So don't be afraid. Tip number 3 is, if you're just starting out, don't be afraid to reach out to attorneys in your area. Of course, COVID makes things a little different than when we were starting, where we could go out to these meetups and there were more things available in person. But things are starting to change. Bar associations are starting to have more in-person meetings and things like that. So you'll be able to do that soon, prayerfully. But like I said, don't be afraid to reach out to attorneys and just tell them where you're at and ask them if they, maybe you could go out for a cup of coffee and just talk to them about their journey and where they are now, and if they have any tips for you. Some people, of course, lawyers are always short on time. They might just want to do a quick telephone call, but you'll be surprised at how much some attorneys, especially with small law firms, will be positive mentors and will be willing to assist you, or at least give you some advice. So tip number 3, don't be afraid to reach out to attorneys that are practicing now and ask them questions. Tip number 4 is a simple one. Get licensed in federal court. Okay, when you usually in your first year of being a licensed attorney, whatever state you're licensed in, if you try to go get licensed in federal court, it is less expensive. So if you do it as soon as you pass the bar and you go ahead in that first year and get licensed, I know in Texas it's much less expensive. So take advantage of that. Go ahead and get that federal court license. You might not need it now, but you never know as your business grows if you're going to need the federal court license. And I know a lot of attorneys who wait until they get a case and they need to file it in federal court, and now they're scrambling to get licensed in federal court. Just go ahead and do it and have that license, and that's something that you can put on your website. You can put in your Avvo profile. You can put on your Instagram that you're licensed in state and federal court. Go ahead and do it now. And especially while you have the time, if you're just starting out as a solo practitioner and you're just starting with new clients, you're not going to have that many, right? But as your business grows, trust me, all of these things that you have to do, you still have to keep up with CLEs and manage the business and, of course, provide the service for your clients. Getting federal court licenses is going to be a pain. Get them now, have them, and then when people ask you, are you licensed in federal court, you can say yes. You never know when the opportunity is going to come along that you need that federal court license. Tip number 5, this is your friend. In today's era, social media is your friend. Now, even if you don't like social media personally, maybe you don't post your every move during your entire life on social media. But for business, social media is important. People like to follow new businesses. They like to see you grow. They like to see what you're doing. It's a great way to connect with other solo practitioners in your area. Use it. It's free. Create an Instagram profile. Create a Facebook. Create a TikTok. Go ahead and do it now while you have the time, and post things that you might find online as you research how to start this business. Post about the type of law that you're going to be that your law firm is going to focus on. Post about the services that you're going to offer. Use it to your benefit, because it's a great free marketing tool to get your name out there. It's also great for brand recognition. like we were talking about earlier, using Upwork to create your website. You can also use Upwork to create a logo. I think it's great to create a logo when you're starting out. Makes you feel like your business is complete. You can use it for letterheads, business cards, all of that good stuff, and also use it for social media to help create brand recognition from the very beginning of you developing your business. So, tip number 5, use social media to your benefit. Great marketing tool, usually free marketing tool. And if one of your posts goes viral or takes off, it can even pay you money. Maybe you get so much of a following as a new starting law firm, new business, that you monetize on Instagram or YouTube or wherever you're posting. So it could be a double-edged sword. Go ahead, use it. It's free, but we're focusing on getting your name out there, letting people know that you are open for business, what type of services that you're offering. Social media is a great marketing tool, so make sure you use that. So if you are starting your own law firm, comment below on how your journey is going. Also, comment below on questions. Like I said, I didn't do it when I started straight out of law school, but my husband did, and I was there with him every step of the way. Probably going to do a part 2 of this where I interview him, or maybe we'll do a live so you guys can ask your questions. If that's something that you're interested in, comment below as well. If you want to see a part 2 of this, or maybe a live where you get to ask him questions about his journey, definitely comment. We would love to provide some insight. So you are planning on doing it, I did this video to let you know it is possible, but you do need to stay focused, and these are some great tips that you can use and apply. If you like this video, make sure you press the like button. Also subscribe. TXT Tells All post new videos every single week.